It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, Ace Cosby, Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Tom Griswold.
Welcome back to the Bob and Tom Show. Our engineer, of course, is Ace Cosby.
Of course.
The behind-the-scenes engineer, of course, is Eddie Hazel. And if you knew that.
Of course.
You know, he plays guitar, too. We could have two guitars and Pat in there someday.
That would be fun.
Oh,
Eddie's good.
Complicate things.
Tom
I
will
love
not
this.
rest until he sees Eddie. You think he's got a crush on Eddie now? Wait till he sees him play guitar.
I know.
Lead guitars.
Sure.
Oh, that's not
Pat
good.
Godwin on vocals. We got a band now.
Who's the Guitar Army? Who was that?
Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner.
The Guitar Army. That's coming to you
King,
from
badass.
the DraftKings Sports Desk with Chick McGee. Christy Lee, of course, in the Navy Federal Credit Union newsroom. This is Tom speaking. Willie G is over there. Christy Lee, as I mentioned, in the Navy Federal Credit Union newsroom. And have I forgotten anybody? Oh, we got Josh Arnold. I'm sorry. TheOrangeInsoles.com, sidekick, desk, and chair.
Of course.
Josh looking kind of subdued today. Our hands folded. He's ready for anything. Just let the show wash over him.
Sure.
Are you okay?
Wow, you're
Looks
really...
like he's about to say grace.
You're projecting.
He does that. He pretty much sits like that every morning.
I've never seen him sit with his hands
Particularly
like
with,
Because you never pay attention.
honestly, Tom's got a bit of a, in his defense, behind the scenes, I have a new mic stand.
Yeah.
And the mic stand allows me to sit more upright in my chair, the new mic stand.
Those are nice.
And
wish
whenever
I
I
had
sit
one.
like this, I do tend to fold my hands. So, yeah, it probably
it looks like you're about to say grace.
Well, I'm a very blessed individual. I'm sure.
Oh, I certainly agree with that.
Yeah.
Like to count your blessings?
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Oh, can I ask him, Dad? Last night I called him and he sort of sounded. He's starting this new thing. He told me you're so excited you showered last night because you're taking too much time in the morning. So how did showering in the nighttime, not in the morning, go for you?
Good. Didn't shower this
wait
morning.
a minute.
Holy cow.
What?
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. But if you shower the night before, how do you fix your hair in the morning? What do you do, Tom? You sleep on it, you bald bitch.
That was kind of mean.
It was his son who said you bald.
I was joking. We were piling on.
We're joking. We're busted balls.
So how late did you sleep? Did you sleep in?
No. I got it. I just wanted to have an extra, 20 minutes to.
Gotcha.
To do what?
Reflect.
Prepare the program. We have a lot of interesting things. I've been reviewing.
That's not what you told me.
Do you think this will stick?
I don't know.
Hey, good for you for trying.
That wake-up shower does feel pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main reason.
Well, what about all that sweating you do at night?
And all that love making.
Every morning.
There we go.
Wait a minute. Someone's detoxing from drugs. Christy, do you sweat a lot at night? A lot of night sweats? A lot of tears?
But...
You sweat?
I did a little bit of what my mother would call a spitz bath.
Ah.
I thought you had, the whore bath, pits and tits.
Oh, hey.
My mother did not call it the whore bath.
I think that's a well-known term. That
Of course it is, yeah.
Right, but your mother would not have used it.
But you guys remember Christy's shared that she sleeps like a corpse, right? Don't you?
I don't move around much.
You don't. You can't even tell she's
This is while you're sleeping. Let's not.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you're implying that's not the only thing she does like a corpse.
No, I'm
Never had any complaints in that area.
Oh God, I can't.
That's what you said.
What area? I didn't say anything. I did.
Are you a talker in bed, Christy?
Well, whatever you like, Josh.
Whatever you like, Josh.
Well, I appreciate that sentiment, but I really wanted.
Hey, Freud's on.
I really just wanted Josh. I understand Josh, when he's in bed, he moves everything. Unfortunately, that includes his bowels.
There we go.
Oh, my God.
Bladder. Hey, look, in the
bladder.
throes of,
I'm sorry, bladder. That's
and
different.
then the throes of passion.
That is...
My favorite thing, Christy, when you said, whatever you like, Josh got this look on his face, just like, play it cool, fellas. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Nope, I know he's just joking. Hang on, I'm not going to get mad.
This is Tom speaking. Covered everybody. Christy Lee in the Navy Federal Credit Union newsroom. You say you've got pickles in the news?
I do. Florida authorities, of course, it's a Florida man, caught a guy pleasuring himself with a pickle According to an arrest affidavit, an officer responded to a suspicious person Sunday afternoon, discovered 47-year-old Eric Detledge lying on his back in front of a townhouse in Oldsmar.
All right.
The man, who was wearing neither pants nor underwear, allegedly held his male member in one hand and a large uneaten pickle in his other hand. Why does it have to be uneaten? If it were eaten, he wouldn't have a pickle.
I would argue if I could.
Yeah.
The officer noted the man was performing an intimate, invasive personal act with the pickle.
Intimate, invasive act.
I see.
The 47-year-old was arrested for exposure of sexual organs. Jail records note Mr. Detledge had the, quote, "only God can judge me" tattoo on his arm.
Oh, I should have gotten that.
Well, so wait a minute. So he's got this in one hand and an uneaten pickle in the other. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not actually in his hand. It sounds like it was being
Shoved in.
How'd they word it again?
They worded it very delicately by saying an intimate, invasive personal act with the pickle.
Okay, I think I got that. I think I know what that means. Now, Pat, I understand that you've been studying this case and you know a lot about it.
Pickles, pickles, I like pickles. No need to turn one into a fudge sickle. Eat your pickle on pumpernickel, but don't fool around with your pickle. Garlic, dill, a big old gherkin. Please don't abuse one while you're jerking. You can even eat a pickle on a motorcycle, but don't use one to French tickle. Polish ones, sweet ones, I love pickles, bread and butter pickles, I'm not fickle. Put the cucumbers in the brine, but please don't stick them where the sun don't shine. You'll do a nickel for being naked with a pickle, stuck on a chain gang with a sickle. Shower time comes and the water trickles, you'll get more than a pickle.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Cute little kid song.
I think when the police officer walked up to the guy, they said, "Hey, man, what's the deal?"
I would have gone a big deal, maybe.
Yeah, that's hey, buddy. Don't put it there. That's not kosher. Okay. Oh, thank you. We are joined by the very handsome Mark Titus. I can see him on the big screen. Hey, Mark, how's it going, sir?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. Now, you are...
I like that big scarlet and gray you're wearing
Let's
there,
go.
buddy.
Let's go.
Oh, let's go, babe.
Yep. Yeah. Ohio State is. We've been playing well recently, and I'm getting very excited about it. But this time of year is not fun when your alma mater has expectations. It's fun in a lot of ways because obviously you might win, but we all know how that usually works out.
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
And you are a graduate, and not only that, you are on the team, and you've got a great book about it, and it is called.
It is called "Don't Put Me in, Coach." Yeah. My experience at Ohio State was I was a walk-on at Ohio State, which is basically what Rudy was at Notre Dame. That's a good reference point. And my experience was the exact opposite of Rudy's. Rudy's was doing everything he possibly could to get on that field, and I was like, I got a great seat. This is the best seat in the house. I don't need to get in this game.
But you did occasionally get on the court. Is that correct?
I did occasionally. Yeah. And it's one of the more what people don't realize about that situation, Tom, is like you're coming in. You've been sitting on the bench for 2 hours. Your legs are ice cold. You're already not as good as the rest of the players, which is why you're not in the game in the first place. So when you do come in, it's just a big ball of nerves. It's like everyone wants you to shoot every time you touch it, and you're like, I've been sitting here for 2 hours. My legs are cold. I don't know. We don't need to do this. And you're only playing like 1 minute. It's a whole thing. So.
What was your best game? Did you ever get any points?
Yeah. I scored 9 career points, which is pretty funny.
That's 9 more than me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I almost hit that prestigious double-digit career. Exclusive club.
But you are kind of an expert in the world of college basketball, and Titus and Tate is your podcast and your program. So presumably you're getting it all polished up. Is your bracket already up, or are you going to wait till Thursday? What?
My bracket is up. This is the one time of year. I'm talking about this week. Like up until these games start, this is the time of year that I actually surprisingly hate the most because of people like you have me on your show and you're like, you're an expert. Tell us who's going to win. and I don't want to tell everybody. It's called March Madness for a reason, you know. So I have all my friends and family. They're reaching out to me. They're like, I'm in all these pools. I have money on the line. I need you to tell me how I'm going to win money. And I said, if it was that easy, I sure as hell would not be covering college basketball for a living. I would be very rich somewhere on an island. So anyway, I do have my bracket, but who the heck knows what's going to happen?
Well, do you have any locks? Do you have anything? This team is way overrated. They're going to go out early.
So the theme of this season is that Gonzaga is undefeated. They're 26-0. They're a team. I'm not sure how much you guys even are aware of like where Gonzaga is or anything. Tiny school in Eastern Washington. They've been destroying everybody. They're very, very good. It sort of feels like it's them versus the rest of the field. So they're the team I think everyone's looking to beat, but we've been here before with college basketball where there's like one team and everyone's trying to beat them, and then that team doesn't always win. So that's kind of where we've arrived, but it's going to be an interesting tournament because it's all taking place in the state of Indiana. It has like a WWE type feel to it with like because of the pandemic. They have 4 teams on standby that if someone tests positive or like there's an outbreak, they just pull that team out and like they bring in another team. They've already done it with some of the officials. There's 6 officials that they kicked out of the thing. Mm-hmm. So it's just going to be like I don't know. You just look up at the WWE ramp and see who comes running down to play, and that's kind of how I think it's going to work.
Now, would the team come in? Is that only for the first round where that would take place? They're not going to.
Yeah, I believe it's for the first round, but like to be honest with you, from my understanding, they talk a lot about like what they're doing to prevent the outbreak. They haven't really talked about what happens if it does. Because if you were to ask somebody at the NCAA, you're like, all right, so Gonzaga's undefeated. They have a chance to make history. It's the night before the national championship game, and we find out half their team tests positive for COVID. What do we do? And they'll just look in the eye and say, that's not going to happen. And you're like, all right, but what if it does? And they're like, we don't know, So the standby would be the first teams, the first round. But who the heck knows?
What if your bracket's filled out and your team, like you have teams in your bracket and they get kicked out? How does that affect the brackets?
This is a great question.
I mean,
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this event under normal circumstances. I mean, as I said, it's called March Madness for a reason because it's just like this crazy stuff happens all the time. So this year it's going to be especially crazy, and it doesn't make it. It's not fun for guys like me who are supposed to be experts and tell everybody what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I know that you grew up in Indiana and you're aware of the term Hoosier hospitality, and as Chick McGee pointed out yesterday, in a grand gesture of hospitality, Chick.
We only have one team in the NCAA tournament. We said Purdue, but they're really good. Is that okay if we have Purdue in?
Just the one.
Why, of course, that's one.
See, that's hospitality.
Just the one.
No.
Indiana tried to steal the headlines, firing the coach the day after the bracket came out. I think that was.
And we're all trying to get that contract where you get fired and they hand you $10 million.
Oh, it's the best. I love that. I love the we feel sorry for this guy or that guy, and I mean, it's not. That seems like a great gig. $10 million to not work.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, wow. And that tuition isn't going down.
2 boosters apparently are responsible for that money.
Yeah,
2.
Wow.
Did you see that they labeled it a philanthropic donation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that, and people were making fun of that you could have.
So I mean, these guys get to write that off.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder, did the phone call take place? Hey, how much are you willing to kick in to get rid of Archie?
Yeah.
How much? How much?
I like the idea of that guy at like a cocktail party, and he's like, yeah, I'm a bit of a philanthropist myself. And you're like, oh, what cancer research did you do? He's like, no, I got a basketball coach fired.
Yeah, I help with fostering animals, and I paid $10 million to get rid of Archie Miller.
Hoosier. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
All right, dude. Yeah.
Once again, we are talking bracketology with Mr. Titus of Titus and Tate. How much do you disagree with your bracket with your partner in this endeavor?
Quite often. He went to North Carolina. They're not good this year. I should say one of the other themes of this season. I mean, we kind of touched on Indiana's not very good this year. The traditional powers. Duke is not in this tournament.
Yep.
Kentucky is not in this tournament. North Carolina is an 8 seed, which is, middle of the road type thing. So a lot of the teams that people are used to seeing being awesome in college basketball aren't that good. He is a North Carolina alum. He still believes in North Carolina foolishly. So that's what I say. It's tough doing this job when your school is decently good, because you feel obligated to just say we're going to win every game, and then you look like an idiot, like he's about to look like. So
Now, do you before we let you go, do you follow the NIT tournament?
I have in the past. Yeah, I don't know. This year, I don't know if I can be bothered to care.
Well, Tom, there was special guest Mark Titus, a Bob Tom fan from Brownsburg. Now, what you tell him who you like in the National Invitational Tournament, Tom?
I hate to nitpick.
There you go.
There it is.
Sorry.
Solid goal.
We're gonna keep track of how you're doing, Mark, and we are going to call you again and check all this out. Are you going to be coming to a lot of the games?
I will be for the Final Four, I believe, because I had an opportunity to come for the whole tournament, and then I was told what it would take to cover the tournament, and it's basically just being in a hotel for 3 straight weeks and eating terrible food and not being able to do much of anything. So I'm only coming for the Final Four, because I just decided that wasn't that fun.
When you were a jock coming up, did the guys make fun of your last name?
Oh, all the time. Are you kidding me? I've heard it all.
Titus is the correct.
Yeah, when you're spelling it, make sure you keep that U in there.
Okay. Okay, Mark, thanks very much. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks, Boobs.
That was.
Did you say boobs?
He said boob, I think.
Philadelphia will dim its lights at night to make it safer for migrating birds.
Is that right?
Last Thursday, Bird Safe Philly announced the Lights Out Philly initiative, a voluntary program in which lights in buildings are turned off or dimmed at night
Good
during
news
the
for
spring
muggers.
and fall.
This is not a good idea.
This alley is really dark now. Glad the birds are okay.
Yeah.
How about a few scarecrows, maybe? I don't
The
know.
coalition formed after the city's largest mass collision event in 70 years was reported last October. You'll recall when hundreds of dead birds were found around the city.
That's a shame.
According to experts, birds navigate during migration using celestial cues, and when they cannot see stars on a cloudy night, they get confused by bright city lights and windows.
And weren't they starlings? Weren't those the birds that?
I don't know exactly what bird they were, but
They flew right into the buildings, and because you. What is a flock? What is a flock? It's a flock of seagulls. What is it again?
Didn't that happen in Nashville? They flew into a building.
NASCAR Hall of Fame, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Murder of crows.
A crash of rhinos, an ambush of tigers, a pack of wolves,
A clarice of starlings.
That's right, Dr. Lynn.
I thought it was a Jonestown of starlings.
Mouthful of swallows.
A swarm of bees.
Mouthful of swallows, Pat Godwin said.
I thought that went under the radar.
Okay, all right, okay. So Philadelphia dimming
You're
the
from
lights.
Philly, right, Godwin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
City of brotherly
It's
love.
not a place you want to turn the lights off at night.
Have you run up the stairs that Rocky did?
You have to.
I've got
It's a rite of passage.
Recently?
No, you smart aleck. Hobbling around here on your knee.
Whatever happened to that bet where you promised me you were going to pole vault?
I had back surgery.
You were going to pole vault 12 feet.
Yeah, but that back surgery was 2 years ago, wasn't
Something
it?
happened
A year
before
ago.
the back surgery. You guguaranteed you could do it by July.
I
That
did.
was 3 years
He
ago.
is now void.
Wading through the lies is what we're doing.
Once again, Pat Godwin's album is still not officially named.
I've called it something.
What?
Well, it doesn't mean we're going to go with that.
Tom's Money Pit.
The album about to come out.
Call it Done Before Haywood's. I'm sorry, it's sort of an inside joke.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'll make it more inside, or call it Done Before Josh's.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Are you going to? You
heard
thinking
yours,
that you're going to recoup some
No.
money? out of this?
It's not even released yet.
Wait a minute, you didn't pay somebody to record me, did you?
Well, it just doesn't happen.
Well, of
How
course.
do you think Alan keeps his family afloat?
He's got bills.
Isn't he salaried? He didn't get extra for doing mine, did he?
No, you should have.
All that editing.
Yeah,
Now that I agree with.
Edit the silence
adding
out.
all those laughs,
That took a month.
all the hate mail from Toledo. The man deserves it.
All of that I totally buy.
No,
yeah.
No, we really don't have a title for Pat's album yet.
Nobody does.
I do.
Blatant
Well,
hostility
the one he has is
like we
off a
do.
little bit.
You don't like mine?
Sends
What
the wrong,
is it?
Sends the
Out
wrong
of
message.
storage, I want to call it.
Out of storage, I like that.
It's vague.
No, it implies that the songs stink and he had to.
It implies that the songs stink.
Yeah, no.
What do you want to call it?
I don't know. We'll
Tell me
get
I thought we had a good title the other day.
Out of
we did.
storage.
Came up with.
I- it was-
Out of storage sounds like you've been in storage somewhere and you're coming out.
I like the
I
waiting
kind of have
through the
been.
lies. I like that one a lot.
Waiting through the lies sounds like waiting through the lies. It sounds
Yes.
like
Yeah,
that's not gonna
W-A-I-T.
Yeah, you're not going to get the You're not going to get the D sound you
Okay,
want.
what if we do a psychedelic cover and call it "In a Godwin DeVita"?
Why wouldn't you do that?
That's a little cornball.
In a Godwin cornball? Well, you're in the right place.
There's your title, A Little Cornball.
I don't mind that. Josh, what's your title of the album? Because I've heard it and it's very good.
Josh said
Oh, of
waiting,
mine?
Yeah.
waiting through the lies, didn't
No,
he?
Josh's album.
Weren't you going to call it Half Fat or something?
Yeah, I had a couple ideas, but it was either Half Fat or The Rest of Me is Awesome.
Is this for a stand-up recording that you're releasing?
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
done. It's been
actually
done for
great.
2
It's
years.
really good.
It has not been done. It's, I do not like any of the editing that's happened.
Let's do that. That's because we left you in.
Plus, you keep going, hey, I'm giving your album to so-and-so. They're going to go through it and mark the time and all this. So 7 different people have done that. I haven't liked any of them.
Again,
And now the
that's
material
because we
is-
can't cut you out of it.
Well, here's an idea. It's
Yeah.
his album. Why
Why
don't you
don't
let
you let him
Josh do
edit?
it?
He can.
That's a good idea.
He doesn't want to. He keeps telling me he doesn't want to.
I've never said that.
No. You don't have to say it like that. I believe you.
Watch the entire show live or on demand at bobandtom.com or listen live with the Bob and Tom app. And be sure to tune in next